It is a new era, and I like wrestling. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back at it again. Today, I'm gonna go give my backlash predictions. The PLE is, I believe, this weekend by the time I'm recording it. In a few days, I'm dropping it on Friday before SmackDown. Hopefully, SmackDown is a banger because last SmackDown was mid. With that said, I'm gonna give my predictions. I'm gonna give who wins. I'm gonna give what I think will happen in the match. And, I'm sure some things I'm going to say is very similar to what other people have said. So we'll see how this goes. With that said, like, subscribe. I make videos because I find it entertaining. Let's dive into Backlash. WWE. Let's start off with the first match, Pat McAfee versus Gunther, the ring general. Hey man, this feud has a lot of the people in the IWC up in arms because the holy and thou ring general gets to face a commentator, gets to face a punter from the NFL. I find this entertaining. I think people get a few things misconstrued when it comes to wrestling. Let me kind of catch you up to speed. Wrestling is entertainment. That's what it is. So, with that said, I found this pretty entertaining. Now, it's nothing going to be crazy. I don't expect this to be a crazy match, but Gunther's crashing out because of what happened with Jey Uso. He's taking his anger on the weaklings that is the commentators, quote unquote, and the match at Backlash should be somewhat of a squash match. I can see Pat McAfee doing a few things, getting a little you know what I'm saying? Maybe they kind of call it back a little bit, and Pat McAfee puts him in a little headlock just like Jey Uso did, really making people crash out. But everything is going to be for naught. It's going to be kind of like the Jimmy Uso situation. He's going to take advantage, he's going to dominate, and he's going to Pat McAfee. This match, definitely Gunther's winning. Will it open the show? I could see this opening the show for sure. I mean, you could consider some of the mid-card titles that are being defended to open, but there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of rumors that a surprise appearance will happen in this match. And if a surprise appearance does happen in the match, i.e. Goldberg, then I could see something where Goldberg's return plus this match against Pat McAfee, who's a huge draw, could be an opener. Now I'll throw out one possible name that could happen as well, because this is the feud we've been wanting for a very long time. The Dragon. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. With that said, if he returns, I'll be hyped too. Gunther wins match 1. Let's go to match 2. I don't know what order they're going to do anything, but if I had to say so in what order these matches should be, match 2 should kind of retain the hype a little bit. And the best way to retain the hype would be the fatal 4-way match. Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and who's the last person? Damian Priest. I almost forgot Damian Priest. So, Fatal 4-Way United States Championship match, I would have as the second match. You retain the hype, of course, because we know how American crowds can be dookie, doodoo garbage for the most part. Shout out Nebraska, Omaha. Y'all cooked. But we need to keep them entertained because they're fickle and their minds get droopy with TikTok brain. So let's say you have another exciting, amazing banger, because I do expect this to be a banger, because as of right now, the resume of these individuals, Fatu, bangers. LA Knight now has bangers, especially multi-man match bangers. We got Drew McIntyre bangers, and then Damian Priest puts on bangers. So this is about to be a banger of a match for sure. And I'm very excited. I have Jacob Fatu winning though. Now, who should take the pin? How this match will go? Well, we're kind of done with the Drew McIntyre Damian Priest feud, in my personal opinion. Drew McIntyre has done enough. Damian Priest lost the feud, and we need to start building Drew McIntyre to do some bigger and better things. Now, it's really hard to say that considering, I don't know, there's no main event talent in SmackDown because Roman's dealing with the kind of a Seth Rollins situation. Cody Rhodes is gone, and then we have John Cena never showing up, part-time champion. So Drew McIntyre has very few people to feud with when you think about it. But if we were to throw out a potential competitor that would immediately make this a very entertaining, high profile feud, I'm going to throw out something for you guys for Drew McIntyre. There's an organization that had one of the greatest debuts in recent memory. There's an organization that loves to go after people who are kind of scummy. Wyatt Six versus Drew McIntyre? You don't, come on, I feel like we see the vision. We just need something for Drew McIntyre to do. And I just don't know as of right now what that would be. Maybe it is going up against Jacob Fatu, because Jacob Fatu is kind of a pseudo tweener babyface. So we'll see. Jacob Fatu, I see pinning Jamie and Priest. I feel like he's the only one that could take a pin and it'll be fine. Drew McIntyre is on the rise. Priest, he can only go so far based on what he's capable of doing. LA Knight's also on the rise. So these two are on the rise. I don't see them taking a pin. But if you want to end the Jacob Fatu and LA Knight feud for good, LA Knight should take the pin. So it's either Knight or Priest who will be taking the pin in this match. Don't be surprised if Solo potentially gets involved. Now, will he get involved to help Jacob Fatu lose or win? I don't know. Not sure. Who knows? Next match I'm going to talk about will be the Intercontinental Championship match. Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. The co-main event probably should be a match that has a little bit more star power. This match should be good, but what we're really going to be waiting for is the involvement of the Judgment Day, especially Finn Balor. Maybe Rey Fenix gets involved. Who knows, to make this kind of a little bit more even. Ultimately, what I do know is that this match was kind of just thrown on the card. It's definitely one of those that just came out of nowhere. Yes, Penta was in the Judgment Day orbit, but there wasn't any kind of reason why he should get this match. Like, he lost at WrestleMania, then he lost against Dom the following day, and then he beat JD McDonough. So like, the correlation doesn't really work here. However, this should be a good match. Dominic has been putting in a good match, and I'm expecting Dominic Mysterio to retain. You know, Dominic is super hot right now, so you're gonna retain that feel. So Dominic wins. However, could this be the moment where the demon appears? Could this be the moment where Finn finally turns? Hey, I don't know if you guys saw Monday Night Raw, but just recently, Finn Balor did talk to Roxanne Perez. And Finn Balor did a little confrontation with AJ Styles. I don't know, I saw some posters with a potential new faction. Finn, AJ, Bullet Club, you know what I'm saying? Oh, what's this? Bullet Club right here? So that'll be pretty entertaining. And then not last but not least, next match, co-main event, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. Great feud. I've been enjoying heel Becky Lynch. I like how the Becky Lynch has been cooking those IWC marks. Them nerds out there, get them out of here. Knocking them all down a peg. This feud has been doing wonders for Lyra. Lyra is getting naturally over. People are starting to say the woo in her entrances. The question is, does Lyra Valkyria lose this match? Now, I'm not sure. I don't know. I have no idea. Because ultimately, when you really think about it, Lyra, yes, has been holding the title for like 5 months, but Lyra also hasn't been doing anything with the title until like a couple of weeks ago. So, do you take it off of Lyra? Do you put it on Becky Lynch? I'm unsure. One thing I am sure about, this should be a very good match. Lyra puts on bangers. So does Becky Lynch, who has been getting older. Well, Becky still puts on some good matches for sure. And then the aftermath for this match will have to be Bayley. So I'm gonna give you a big one. Becky Lynch wins. I'm gonna have Becky Lynch winning this match, beating Lyra Valkyria, and then leading into a feud with Bayley. I think that is what the meaty thing to do next is, considering Becky Lynch has been talking so much crap about Bayley recently. It only makes sense that Bayley will be the person to go up against next. Now, will this hurt Lyra's stock if she loses? Maybe. It depends on how she loses, really. Because if Becky beats Lyra clean, then that does hurt her stock a little bit. Now, if Lyra beats Becky, then that is very interesting. The wild card really is Bayley because Bayley is the next feud for Becky and her. So, when do you pull the trigger is the biggest question here. If I had a pick, I would say Lyra should win. Eventually, Becky does take it off of Lyra, though. But considering the WWE has very specific binoculars and glasses on, this is what it looks like. Money, 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 money. Considering that's the case, I could 100% see Becky Lynch winning this. So I'm gonna put on the money glasses, say Becky wins, and then we have the Becky versus Bayley feud, and then Lyra gets her get back later on. And last but not least, let's go main event. We got versus. Now, there's no way he loses his first match after becoming champion, right? There's no way. But it's also hard for me to see, like, how is Cena gonna beat a Randy Orton who's so focused on taking him out and preserving his family's legacy? There needs to be shenanigans. That's where it comes down to. Now, where does the shenanigans come from? It better not be Fiend, because if Fiend is showing up, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. I don't want Fiend to show up. Now, if it's wait, what's the start of it? If you're some I'll also be pissed because The Rock has been pissing me off the last couple months. So we need something that can bridge the gap between Fiend showing up, If You Smell showing up, and John Cena beating Randy Orton. The only logical answer here, ladies and gentlemen, is if someone else sells their soul. That's the only logical choice. Now, who could that someone else be who sells their soul? Really hard to say. Really hard to say. But there does need to be kind of like a representative of Mr. Never Comes to Work. I feel like the best way to kind of do this is to hire someone like Hikuleo to help John Cena as a spokesperson. Now, I don't know anything about Hikuleo. I don't even know if this is the right name. All I know is there needs to be something. There needs to be something that kind of like fixes this freaking deal. So the microphone got disconnected, but there needs to be something that kind of bridges the gap on what's going on with The Rock, basically. So shenanigans is very possible, but ultimately I got John Cena winning this match. We got to continue the story, of course. With that said, that is all I got. These are my Backlash predictions. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If we get 17 likes on this video, you know what? Next video that I drop, or I'll do it as a clip. No, I'll do it for the next video. I'll drop a like 30-second promo on a wrestler or anybody or a wrestling content creator of your choosing. If you let me know in the comment section, that means I know you watched the full video. So get it at 17 likes. If nobody gives a suggestion in the comments, I'll pick someone random. With that said, hope you guys enjoyed today's Backlash video. You have a good one. Take care. Peace.